So, I want people to listen to what just happened and see if you can identify some of the problems here. One of which is the most important one is when people are trying to get a lot of information out in a small amount of time for you, it's probably good to hear them out and let them finish, especially if you're getting paid by the hour to do so. Because once again, somebody just interrupted me on the phone, asked me my date of birth, and then we wasted a bunch of time just because they weren't listening. They wanted to rush to the point, and they did literally just want to take a break. Because a lot of these people on the phone, as soon as they get off the phone with you, they go back to their coffee and playing their game on their phone and Facebook. They keep Facebook up on their computer. They go online, they check a bunch of videos, then the line comes in, they make the phone call, and they can't wait to get off that phone. They want to speed you through the phone call even though they're getting paid by the hour. Yes, these people are getting paid by the hour to do the phone calls that you're calling them about, but yet they're rushing you through your calls so they can get back to playing video games on that same computer. So they don't have to do the hard part of their job. This happens quite often. People don't like doctors. They get an actual case coming in needing a diagnosis who's never got a diagnosis before. Well, that's a hard case. They don't want to diagnose. No, that's hard. They just want to put their hand to a piece of paper and write a prescription. So when they get their job hard, they pass it on to another doctor and another doctor and another doctor until you get an older doctor who does his job. If it's hard or easy, he does his job. Just like when I worked at the gas station. If my job was easy or hard, I did my job. As long as I was healthy enough to get the cigarettes, I got the cigarettes. If I was taking out the trash, I took out the trash. And if I'm not healthy enough to do that stuff, then I'm out of work until I am. That's simple. I'm not on a chair playing video games telling my manager and the customers, nah, go get your own shit. Go someplace else and sitting on my ass trying to collect money. No, I either do my job or I'm not at the job to do it. That's it. If you're paying me, I'll do everything in my job title, and I might even do a little extra. And if I can't do that, if I can't do everything in my job title, then I have a problem and I really need to fix that problem and then go back to work. The problem I've been having is I am disabled. None of my disabilities are being diagnosed or treated, and yet I'm just trying to ignore them. I get injured, ignore them. I get injured, work, ignore them. Because when I do try to handle them, my mother and father's bullshit gets in the way, and I don't have a lawyer and a bunch of shit to undo their shit. So it just becomes I do everything that's necessary, and it doesn't matter. I'm just wasting my time until I get a lawyer or somehow clean up my father's and mother's mess. So, anyways, we're going to go into what I just went through and what the problem is. So, I'm bringing my landlord to court on the 21st. May 21st, they're going to hear us, and probably they're just not even going to hear me out. They probably won't even look at the pictures. They probably won't even look at the videos. They probably won't even allow me to bring it in the court. They'll just say, well, what do you have? Evidence? Well, we don't want to see it. And then they'll probably throw the court out and say that they didn't see enough evidence. There'll probably be some bullshit like that in court. I always see it all the time. It's really twisted to try to make sure the people with money always come out on top. So I have pictures, videos, pure evidence that everybody who's looked at says, oh my God, you're going to die if you stay in there. Every single person, doctors, police officers, every single person I've showed these videos and pictures to that are just of my apartment. They just show what it's like at 8 o'clock at night in my apartment, what it's like in the hallway at 8 o'clock at night, the mold, the rot, what it's like when it rains. It just shows our apartment. That's all. It just shows the windows, the walls, the wooden frames, outside, inside, hallways. That's all. And whenever I show it, people say, you're going to die if you stay in there. Oh, yeah, you're going to die. You're going to die. And I say, I already am. I'm already getting sick, and I already have pre-existing conditions thanks to all the failures in society and my mother making really bad choices and my father making really bad choices, as well as the trafficking. If they kept me in one town, they would have caught on about my disabilities. The doctors were already catching on at age 7. Yes, the doctors in Westward were having me in physical therapy, speech therapy. They were telling my mother to do something. She was putting me in ballet. The doctors were worried about the stuff I was talking about my mother giving me an overdose. So what made this all put a stop to it so my mother could get away with murdering and hurting an orphan? How could she get away with this? She adopted me and brought me to Texas, stopped me from seeing any of these doctors, cut off all the paperwork, brought none of those statements up, just totally made it a gray zone, and then the doctors just disappeared me. I didn't come back for like 6 years, and then 6 years later, I'm in a different town with brand new doctors, a whole new history, and now with a whole new bunch of problems, as well as I had the problems in New Mexico. Well, would really help cover her crimes as well. So you have all that going on. Anyway, so I got that going on. I'm bringing the landlord to court. I'm having seizures. I'm sick. We got pictures, videos, all that. I'm going on the May 21st. But at 8:30 a.m. and I have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. Well, there's no way court is going to be done within an hour and a half. You know how the courts are. There's no way I'm making that doctor's appointment. And I can't miss my doctor. And I can't miss court. Those are all both top priorities for me. They come first. But I need both of them. So what do? I call my doctor, and I want to do a makeup or try to figure out if I can move it to a Thursday or something. It's a week in it's 2.5 weeks in advance. I should be able to do it. So I call. But they have no call service. These doctors' office use a different call service out of state where there's a bunch of telephones, like the call services. So I go, okay, I'll use their call service. Okay. So I call their call service. I get a lady. I tell her, hey, I have a court date on May 21st. I am going to be going at 8:30 in the morning. I have a doctor's appointment with you guys at 10 a.m. on May 21st. I'm going to need to, and before I even get to finish, that's where I get cut off. She goes, date of birth, please, and interrupts me. I go, ma'am, can you let me finish? She goes, just give me the date of birth and name and I'll look you up. I say, okay, ma'am. My date of birth, blah, blah, blah. My name is blah, blah, blah. She types it in and goes, I don't know why you're calling. If you missed your group on last Tuesday, the only thing I have is on the 9th. I can get you in on the 9th if you want. Do you want the 9th? And I said, lady, I don't want the 9th. Then why did you call? Because that's the earliest we have. So if that's not good enough for you, I'm sorry, but the 9th. I said, ma'am, calm down. Please stop. She goes, don't tell me to stop. I said, okay. In the beginning, I was giving you extra information. That information told you that my court date and my appointment is on May 21st. I cannot make this appointment on May 21st. So I'm trying to get an appointment for May 21st moved to like May 23rd. I'm not sure if you guys do that. I'm not sure if I can do it in advance. This is, you guys have a very weird protocol. I call my doctor, their phone goes dead. I get a secretary, they tell me to call a call service, then I get a robot, then I get transferred from the robot, then I got you. So I'm giving you the information. Plenty in advance. She goes, well, I'm used to addicts calling and not showing up to their shit. I'm not used to them calling in advance. I said, well, I'm not like that. I've been sober for a long time. I am not actively using. I just want to go to my doctor's appointment. Okay, so you guys have a lot of Percocet users because you got a lot of people who take this either for pain, for drug addiction, or because they used to be on painkillers. I understand that. But if you listen to what I'm telling you, you're getting paid by the hour, are you not? She goes, yes. I said, then all you had to do was listen for 30 seconds. The whole phone call was only 2 minutes long. The whole entire phone call is only 2 minutes long. All I'm telling you is the date. I have a court date and your guys' doctors back to back. So I need to move you guys, the doctor, to Thursday or another day. Can you do that? She goes, yes, but you have to call when it's closer. We can't do it in advance. This is too much in advance. We have a lot of addicts here, so we almost never get advance calls. I go, okay then. Well, you have a nice day, ma'am. And she goes, you too. And then she hangs up. Now, what is the problem with that phone call? The problem is that she wasn't listening to me. When I first got her on the line, the first thing I said was, I have an appointment on May 21st with the courts at 8:30. I have an appointment on May 21st with the doctor, you guys, at 10 a.m. Those are too close together. So, and before I even got to finish to ask, so can you move those, before I even got finished answering the sentence, give me your date of birth and name. She interrupts me. I say, can I finish? She goes, no, just give me your date of birth and name. So she told me I'm not allowed to finish, so I give her my date of birth and name. Then she goes on her computer, types in my name and my date of birth. Then she tells me she'll give me an appointment for May 9th. But that doesn't work. I already have an appointment. I already made that appointment. I already went to that appointment. I got May 7th, May 14th, and May 21st. I don't need May 9th because I got May 7th. Why would I go to a doctor's appointment on May 9th when I have a doctor's appointment on May 7th already? I was telling her that my appointment in question is May 21st. But see, she was not listening. She was ignoring me, and she wanted my date of birth and my name because she just wanted to slide it to the 9th on Thursday, because that's what they always do. They only have 2 days they're open a week. This doctor's office is only open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm trying to move my Tuesday the 21st to Thursday the 23rd. But she wasn't listening. She just wants to go back to playing Diamond Crush on her phone, or Candy Crush, or Maverick Max Jump-A-Lot, or whatever the hell is the 5-second game you do in between your job nowadays. And yes, this was a 30-year-old on the phone, you could tell by the voice, and she was quick to get off the line because then she can go back to playing on her computer and her phone. Because this is what they do at work nowadays. You do your job, you try to speed through it so you can go back to your phone. Then somebody else calls and you go, ah, and then you go back on and help them, and then you go back on your phone. My coworkers, I see them doing it all the way. The door will go bing, bing, and a customer will walk in. And instead of being happy that they don't have to clean or do anything else, these people are mad. My coworkers go, ugh. Why? Because they're not cleaning, they're not fixing the slushy, they're not refilling the slushy, they're not taking out the trash. They're on their phone with a phone earpiece, playing video games, talking to their friends on Facebook. And this is at Market Basket, this is at the gas stations, and you better believe that all the phone operators at home are doing it more than ever. The people who work on their computers from home, they don't have a store to keep clean, so all they do is they answer the phone and try to get you off as quick as possible so they can go back to them time. They're paid by the hour, they're paid by, how much they get done, but yet these people aren't doing their jobs correctly because they just want to get off. They just want the paycheck to show up. They don't want to do their jobs properly. They don't want to go the extra mile. They don't even want to hear the customer out. Never hear the customer out. And policies are getting even more fucked up, where, like, I'll give you an example. I went to Walmart and I bought an iPhone for $200. Opened it right there and then. It doesn't work. They won't give me a refund. I haven't even left the store. The phone literally has no working components. You've now tried to charge it, turn it on. Nothing works. You can't get the damn iPhone on. The battery does not work inside. Nothing works. I'm not paying you $200. I want my money back. This phone has not left the store. It's a dead phone, brand new. This isn't used. It's a brand new iPhone. Why is it completely dead? So the guy at the phone store at Walmart goes behind. He tries to charge it, tries to turn it on. He goes, oh, this must have made it through the line. This is a dead phone. He goes, this will never work. Yep, this is a dead phone. He goes, it must have got through quality control. He goes, but we don't have a return policy. I said, let me speak to the manager. The manager tells me no return policy. I can pick out another phone, though. They said, let me pick out another phone. Now that phone has a problem. I got to go back in the store, and this happens one more time. On the third phone, it works fine. I swore to them that I would never go back to Target or Walmart, because the first trip was at Walmart with the iPhone. The second one was the other phone. Now that's my home computer still to today. I have a $200, it was the top of the line Samsung. I went from the iPhone to a Samsung because the iPhone was completely junk. It was brand new and wouldn't ever work. The screen wouldn't light up, nothing, no matter how much you charge it, no matter how many people worked at it. Every tech guy in the place tried to get it on. They're all like, oh, maybe the battery's just dead. Oh, duh, you think? How much of a moron do you think we all are? You got two phone store guys who have tried it now for 15 minutes each. You got me who've tried it for 15 minutes. Everybody's tried to get this thing on. Nobody can. Now we got to get three more people out there. We got to get the manager. We got to get the head of tech. They call over head of tech. Everybody got to take a look at this dead phone. After everybody has spent an hour with this dead phone, they tell me it's dead, but I'm stuck with the money. Yeah, I'm stuck with the 200 for a dead phone I just paid for. That I opened the box right in front of them and they see that it was broken coming out of the box. But they give me the money back. Manager feels bad, so they don't give me a refund, but they let me pick out another phone. So I grabbed that phone, but guess what? You can't ever get service on it. The sign lied. It said less than $50 a month was the bill. They want $177 a month. I don't have $177 a month. Isn't there any other way I can get service on this phone? Nope. It's $140 a month, plus you get this activation, blah, blah, blah. So if you give us $177 now, and then you give $140 a month, you can have this phone on every month. I don't have that type of money. You told me it would be $44.99 a month. Yeah, that's just the sign. That's not what it is. But you told me that sign went with this phone. I asked you specifically, does this sign go with this phone? This is an AT&T sign that says $45.99 or something like that, and this phone says AT&T. Do they go together? Can I get that monthly plan with that phone? You told me yes, and then you activated it. First you get me that iPhone, it doesn't work. Now I got a phone, but no service. Oh, so then I go to Target. Target gives me a dead phone too. But I bring it back. Target gives me a live phone, same company, same surface. I'm good to go. But that's only a $50 phone. So I went with 200 and something dollars. I went with like $260 and I got a $50 phone for all that money. That's all I got with service. A $50 phone with service for $260 just because of all the rip-off artists out there. All because of these people don't want to do their jobs. And the policies are built to allow these companies to steal money. Yes, that iPhone company, Walmart, they were able to take my money and literally give me junk that didn't help me. Yes, perfectly legal to steal my money and do that. They promised me a phone with service. I got walked out of there with a brick that did nothing. And no matter how much I tried, only a lawyer would make it right. Because there was cameras, evidence, but there's all this other bullshit, all these other contracts, fine print, all that good stuff that allows them to steal your money. So with people not wanting to do their jobs, with people getting stoned all the time, with people wanting to not, like I said, do their jobs, act selfish, be greedy, and then you got companies writing in code enforcement and stuff like that to steal your money. Then you have big corporations finding new and unusual ways to steal your money. Then you have our government failing, you have a system broken, and on top of that, the lobbies are making new and exciting laws to steal the poor people's money and move it to the top. Yes, we got new and exciting laws coming out. Wait till you hear the next one. New and exciting laws to separate us from our money. Yes. What will be the next new and exciting law to hurt the people at the bottom? I mean, goddamn, you got people being rounded up, put in the prison like that's the new housing. I mean, prisons pretty much are the new shelter. 50% of people in the prisons right now are people who just went to the store or walked to work. They literally had nothing wrong. They're now in jail for trespassing or riding a bike in the wrong place, or like they're in jail for having their medication in their pocket. I know so many people that if they were treated like a homeless person would be in prison. They go, well, they're in prison because they're criminals. Well, if that's all it takes to be a criminal is going to prison, well, then you guys should be in prison too. How much medication? Oh, you have your heart medication on you? Do you have the prescription bottle with you? Of course not. What do you mean, of course not? Oh no, you better go to jail right now. You have your heart medication on you and you didn't bring the bottle. Yeah, but that bottle's big and I don't got pockets like that. No, I'll just keep the one pill in my wallet. I got this little pill holder on my keychain. Nope, Dad, I don't care if you're 88, you'll go to prison. No, I won't. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got money, you're wealthy, and you're 88, so you don't have to follow the laws we have to follow. But if you're homeless and you put your heart medication in a pill container on your keys and you are just like the police just want to put you away, they do it all the time. They have all these new and exciting laws to try to put the poor either in prison or separate us from our money. They try to suck us dry, and then when we're completely dry, they put us in prison. That way they can suck our families dry. That's the system. First, they suck us dry until we're completely poor and broke. Once when we're completely poor and broke, then they put us in prison. Once when we're in prison, they suck our families dry. And that's the system. And they try to make sure they can put you to work or try to make money off you while you're in prison as well. Oh, yes, it's slave labor. When slavery was made illegal, they increased the amount of slavery in the prisons. That's when they allowed the white people to start being enslaved as well. As long as you are a prisoner, it doesn't matter if you were somebody just sitting on the sidewalk and you were put in the prison, they'll put you to slave labor. It's one of the ways they're able to make an income in this country. They take the poor people that literally are working a job trying to pay their taxes, they put them in prison, fuck them up good, and then they try to blame all their problems on their criminal. Oh, yeah, what did I do that was so criminal? You were trespassing. Do you mean I was walking on the sidewalk to work? Yeah, you're a criminal. You were trespassing. You had illegal drugs on you. You were transporting drugs. Do you mean I had my heart medication on my keychain? Yes, you had your heart medication on your keychain, so you were transporting drugs. And then they try to make it your fault. Then they say, well, you have to suffer greatly and you got to make us money. This is the system that we have designed today. Now, if you don't believe me, go put on some painter's clothes and spend a month in the shelter. Just doing your normal routine, and you'll see a lot of failures in no time. You can't go a good month without seeing a systematic failure while homeless. I mean, every single week there was one. I mean, I used to see it in other people with me. I even got stabbed with a dirty needle right in the shelter, and everybody was cool with it. I'm not kidding. A guy backed into me with his backpack. There was a needle sticking out. It stabbed me. There was witnesses and a camera. This was brought up to the staff, but nope. It's okay to stab people with needle in a shelter. Somebody jumps you, you're thrown out with them. Doesn't matter that you were assaulted. They call it a fight. There's all these little tiny rules. They're also allowed to discriminate against you by color and disability and race and all this other problems. It's really bad right now. I mean, they even rape these people. There's people going around trying to use the homeless for labor and sex. Yes, they'll ask them if they want a job. They'll keep them off the books, have them work for a week or two, and then not pay them, and then say, too bad, get a lawyer. Not just that, they'll pick up young 18-year-old or 19-year-old women who don't know the world yet. They'll offer them a place to stay or a job, rape the shit out of them, then drop them off at the shelter again, pregnant or raped. And then nobody will help those women. You can rape a homeless woman if you want. That's why if an 18 or 19-year-old woman ends up in the shelter, they usually become prostitutes. Because if they don't, they're just going to be raped anyways. Nobody cares if they're raped or if people throw them to the ground and have sex with them. The only thing that matters is if you have camera footage and multiple witnesses. If it happens in the shelter or around the shelter, nobody cares. It doesn't. And the funny part about it is young men are even more vulnerable right now. You'll see a lot of young men who seem gay in the shelters, but really they've just been raped too many times. Now I fight back. Now it doesn't always work, so I never had to really. I had people try to rape me, but they never got very far because I would fucking slit their throats. Plus, I had Shannon by the end. After the first year of being homeless in Lowell, living in the woods, I had all the psychos liking me because I'm just a nice guy who gives supports. First the psychos, then the gang members earned respect with me. Then I earned respect with the hookers. So before, and then the police never fucked with me either. So before long, the whole town had my back. But when I first moved to Lowell, there were people willing to try to rape me, steal from me, rob me. And well, the robbing happens no matter what. But yeah, I fought back, but there was a lot of close calls where I almost did get completely raped, and it didn't matter how much I fought, didn't matter what I did. People do not care. I was even in a state hospital, and a kid was allowed to crawl in my bed and try to rape me in my sleep, too. multiple nights in a row with the staff allowing this. The kid had to walk right in front of the staff, go past 8 rooms to come into my room every night. He literally was waving to the staff as coming in my room to rape me. This is how fucked up the system is. You got a staff member knowing that a 20-year-old kid who's vulnerable is in a room trying to sleep. Meanwhile, a rapist psycho kid is walking 8 rooms down from his room, going into another kid's room to rape him. And after I come out screaming, throwing this kid on the floor, about to break his neck, telling the staff that he is not my roommate, do not let him in my fucking room, or I'm gonna fucking kill him, do not let him in my fucking room, he does it again and again, right in front of staff members. Why? Because the staff member's on her phone. She doesn't want to do her job. She's playing Candy Crush on her phone at nights. She's not paying attention. Her job is to watch the hallways. So this kid is walking right through the hallway into my room trying to rape me because she doesn't want to do her job. She's a fat ass, sitting on her fucking fat ass, playing Candy Crush, having her eyes on the fucking candies. Meanwhile, a psycho kid with dreadlocks comes all the way to my room, hops in bed with me, sticks his hand down my pants, starts to try to stick his finger up my bum. I have to grab him by the throat, toss him on the floor. He gets up. I have to grab him by the throat, toss him out of my room. Then I have to go to staff and say, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Get your asses in gear and get this fucker out of my room. Do not allow this fucker in my room again. And then a third time he comes in my room, I toss him out. Then again, so 3 times the first night, 4 times the second night, twice on the third day. On the third day, it was twice at night, and then one more time, right in front of everybody. He tried to rub my back and shoulder. I grabbed him, threw him to the ground once again, but this time in front of like 20 people, cocked back to hit him in the throat, then realized I'm hitting a mentally ill person that has no idea what he's doing. This kid is spaced out, and I'm about to kill him. So I just stay there with one hand on his throat, holding him to the ground, the other arm ready to smash his throat. So I got like one hand on the side of his throat, my right hand about to smash his throat, and I just stop. I just lock up and stop. Takes the staff about a good while to get over there. Eventually they get over there, they pull me off, they inject me with drugs, all that type of stuff. Then they ask me why. I explain myself for the 100th time, and then guess what? Then they check the cameras and apologize. They say, oh shit, yeah, we've seen him for the last 3 days going in your room. 8 doors down right in front of staff. We're going to take care of this. She's fired. But can you sign this non-disclosure so you can't sue us? I said no. But it didn't matter. Nobody's going to help me sue. They don't care if I'm raped, burned, beaten, poisoned. They don't care if my organs are failing. If somebody else hurts me, according to my father and mother, it's my fault. I shouldn't have been there. If my mother poisons me, I shouldn't have been there. If my mother beats me with a ruler, I must have done something. It's always somebody else's fault other than themselves. And that somebody else always has to be me. Every problem in my mother's and father's lives, everything has to be my fault. And that was their scapegoat on everything. Why Texas fails and why we moved to Texas? Because the 7-year-old said to go. That's why. Yes, that's why we moved to Texas, because the 7-year-old son said he wanted to go to Texas. Even though I said, yes, no, I don't know, yes, no, I don't know. My mother said yes, my father said no, but my father still to this day says that he went there because the 7-year-old said he wanted to. No, there is so much more to that. I mean, when I said I wanted to stay in Texas, did he listen? No. He moved me right to Maine to sell one of his properties. You know what really mattered to my father? He was getting a raise if he went. You know what really mattered to my mother? She could stay out of prison and stay out of trouble if she went. You know what really mattered to me? I didn't know. I said yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I said yes, maybe it's warm. No, maybe it's windy. Yes, maybe it's warm. No, maybe I'm not going to get doctors. Yes, maybe I'll meet new friends. No, I already got friends. So, I was only 5, 6, 7 years old during all these mental gymnastics I had to do for my mother and father. Like, for instance, here's another one. I won a swimming medal in the orphanage. I just got adopted. I saw my swimming medal in my Lego box, and I said, oh, good. I should show this to my new adopted mother. Yes, I was the only kid in the whole orphanage to tread water the longest, and they told me I was the best swimmer. I should show this to my mother. She'll like it. So I go to show the swimming medal to my mother. You know what she does? She calls me a liar. She calls me a thief. Says I stole my own swimming medal. Then on top of that, she tries to say it must be an African American kid's. Oh my God, there was lots of orphans that went to that swimming class, but he wasn't one of them. Knows nothing about that swimming medal, of course not. Plus, there are a dime a dozen swimming medals. I don't even know how many. I don't even know where the orphanage got this. All I know is that I took a swim class with the other orphans on my level at the orphanage. Some young 20-year-old, like blonde or brunette, I think it was blonde, brought us. We went into a van. I treaded water the best, so they gave me the medal. Then the staff member said, I'm going to put your name on it. Don't let any of the other kids have this. She put ZG on the back, and then she handed it to me. Then when I got back, I put it in the Legos, because the Legos I won for being the best kid in the orphanage. I was the best behaved kid in the orphanage several times in a row, actually. That's how I got most of my little toys. Even though most of my toys broke. Like, I had some action figures for being the best kid, too. I had some, like, it looks like a weird spaceman with a white suit, and then there was a darker suit. 2 action figures. That was one of the other times I won best behaved student in the, or best behaved kid in the orphanage. I was doing very well until my mother started fucking with my mind. I was even getting over the fact that I was held down and given double doses of Ritalin during breakfast. That did affect my eating. I was a little afraid to eat after they poisoned me during breakfast because of something another kid said. But I was getting over it. But then my mother takes away my swimming medal, calls me a liar, calls me a thief, starts saying that I have a bunch of mental illnesses to the doctor, starts saying that I must be trying to hurt my mother because I'm writing the G on the back. So my mother's making this all about her. This is my mother's mental illness. She thinks that everybody is out to get her. That's part of my mother's mental illness. Yes, my mother and my father think that everybody's out to get them. Their own sons, their own daughters, their own grandsons are just out to get them. That's all. When really we're coming up to my father and mother and saying, hey, we think there's a problem that needs to be handled, Dad. Yeah, you know all those poisonous things? Yeah, we probably shouldn't be playing with those, yeah. No, you're just out to get me, that's all. No, Dad, we're not out to get you. We want to handle a real mess that needs to be cleaned up. No, you're just out to get me. Okay, let's wind back to my mother. I'm showing a swimming medal. No. My son isn't trying to show me a swimming medal. He's showing me a stolen swimming medal, trying to hurt me. Yeah, he wrote a G on the back, and he's trying to show it to me to show me that he doesn't like me. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah, this is my mother thinking like that. And I'm not even... This is exactly what my mother said at that time. I'm not guessing here. My mother actually flipped out, brought me to a psychiatrist, and yelled with the psychiatrist that her son was trying to get her hurt by putting his old last name, a G, on the swimming medal. And that must mean that her new adopted son is out to get her all the time. And that her adopted son is a liar, a thief, and has attachment disorder. And he's out to get her. That's what my mother said right in front of me to a psychiatrist. Said it right in front of me to my father. That I stole my own swimming medal.